Nigeria is 63, and our growth as a nation, really, in the entertainment industry, is one to admire. Now, we've seen our movies and our music, like I said earlier, break major boundaries with global brands identifying with our market, loving it a little too much, if you ask me. Now, one of our major exports definitely has to be our movies. Nollywood has become one of those spaces that you'd say it's come a long way. You know, our movies are currently the most sought after around the world. While I was away, the movie that RMD just put out, The Black Book, that movie is currently in top 10 in the US. Everyone loves it. Everyone's talking about it. Everybody wants to see it. Have you seen that movie? Oh, you're from Nigeria. He's an amazing actor. Now, today on the show, we will be taking a look at our growth in the movie industry. And joining me on the show to do just that, two veterans that I absolutely love, Segun Arinze and Charles Novia, joining me from our Lagos studio. Good day, gentlemen. Lovely to have you on Arise 360. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Hear you.
Absolutely. I'm so delighted to have you on the show. Segun Arinze, I would say this because it's 63 years. I do not want to be a person you are investigating in a movie ever, because I'm going to be found out.
Why are you being mischievous?
No, but I'm being serious. I mean, Charles Novia, it's lovely to have you on the show as well. So let's talk about this. I want us to start with some fun memories. 63 years is a long time. I'm going to begin with you, Charles Novia. What are some fun memories when you look back on how we started as an industry that you have?
Well, it's been fun. Since you mentioned fond memories, I think it's been a journey of passion. It was first of all driven by passion. The industry, the history of the industry, as it were. The way I like to tell it is that it started from television. Nollywood, as you see today, it was birthed, as it were, by the television industry. And back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, it was TV. The TV was really our mainstay of entertainment until the 90s, when, as folklore, the Nollywood folklore has it, Living in Bondage. The first Living in Bondage, not the other one that came out a couple of years ago, but the first Living in Bondage came. But my own memory and my fond memories of all that was that at a point in time when there were lots of us, in the industry, we were theater artists. There was a lot of trained theater artists, trained film producers in 30 years ago, 35 years ago or thereabouts. You had to get into the industry through some measure of training and education. Well, it has been liberalized right now, so people can come in, and then work on their art. But it was fun. We were doing it for the passion. You would come into the industry. We were trying to prove a point. We wanted to say, I can do it just the way they are doing it in Hollywood. And we were telling stories that was very, very, very relatable to the people, our environment. We were not telling stories trying to internationalize what we were trying to tell, because every man's story is actually a universal story, but we were, telling it within the environment we lived in. And at that point in time, if I narrow it down to about 30 years ago, we actually thought that we were telling our stories to our own audience. We didn't know that some of those VHS tapes, as it were, the videotapes, we were traveling far and wide across the world. It took us about a decade after, in 2003, before we realized that, wow, these VHS tapes, these tapes are actually flying all over the world, and people are watching all over the world. And then that realization came to say, you know what, we need to step up. So it's been fun. It's been great. It's been, like I said, a journey of passion, panache, and promise. And we are where we are.
Absolutely. Segun Arinze, I want you to chip in on the same thing. Some fun memories when you look back on how we started.
Yeah, for me, fun memories, like Charles rightly put it, a lot happened. I remember days of going to go see Ogunde while I was in secondary school, and then there was Ade Love, and there was Jaguar. They were all coming to my secondary school those days, and that was, for me, ignited the passion for me to come into the industry. I remember my father telling me, no, you can't be an actor. And I said, no, that's what I want to be. And well, the rest is history. I had to go train as an actor in Obafemi Awolowo University. Then it was called Unifair. and trained under Chuck Mike. And ever since, it's been a great evolution for the industry. I've got to meet a lot of actors that I actually, as a child growing up, I revered, as a young man growing up, I revered, and then getting to work with them. And it's just been a marketing mix of everything, the good, the bad. Maybe I'll use the word bittersweet because it's not been smooth all the way. And like Charles rightly put it, when we were in the 80s all the way up into the 90s, and then the Living in Bondage thing started, and then it was television soap operas and series, Village Headmaster, Ripples, you had Mirror in the Sun, Behind the Clouds, Checkmate. You had so many, them Fortunes, Mega Fortunes, Cockcrow at Dawn. It was television based, and then of course you just started having all the guys in NTA moving out to say, okay, they wanted to start producing their film. I remember that it was Chris Obirapo that directed Living in Bondage at that time, and before he did, the explosion started, and today here we are, Nollywood, and over 63 years of the nation's independence and 30 years or more of Nollywood, and we've imparted, and it's a good thing that we've also been recognized and been as a part of the Nigerian economy, and I guess that's why the president has created the Ministry of Creative Economy, and so we can see what happened. We parted around the world, we've traveled around the world, people get to see our film, like Charles Wright said, those is VHS. We didn't know that we thought we were in a closet. We didn't know that we were being opened up and people were seeing those things. And today our stories are beginning to resonate. I would not say 100% and I'm totally happy with the kind of stories that are coming out, but we can get better as we grow, as we go along, we can get better. In terms of production values, in terms of scripting, in terms of the acting, yes, we're getting those right gradually. But I think we should slow down on the copy thing and tell our stories. If you ask me, I would like to see a remake of most of these films when we started out in Nollywood, now with better equipment and all that. I would like to see them and let people, enjoy what we saw those days growing up. That's what I would like to see. So it's been a roller coaster of a journey, but it's been interesting.
Now, I want us to touch on that, especially the storytelling. Every time I speak to veterans about Nollywood and how it all started, because to appreciate where we are now, it is very key to look back on where we're coming from. One thing they would often speak of, which is very common, and you both just mentioned it, is the background. The background that you have in film, the trainings, a lot of people within theater, these are veterans in theater, like it's a normal thing, which is why when it comes to having to get on stage, to do anything Broadway related, it comes naturally, comes easy. But now we are reaping benefits of what we started years ago. But what we're now putting out are these things we want, are these stories we want to tell? Are we telling our stories with the right amount of efficiency and quality? Your own assessment, obviously, on the stories that are being told. We have the Oscars international selection committees. We have various platforms like Netflix, Amazon coming in, and then we're churning out content. The stories that are going to all these places, compared to how we started and the work that was put in, are we satisfied with that? I think Chef can kick this one off.
If I could answer that first.
Okay, yes. Sure, Charles.
Right. I don't think any body in Nollywood or in the film industry, as it were in Nigeria today, would be satisfied totally about what we are doing. But are we better? In terms of our own production values, in terms of how we are pushing ourselves, out there than we were 30 years ago. Yes, we are. But there's a dearth. I always say that there's a dearth of good storytelling, good script writers in the industry right now. That is one thing we have to work on. We have improved in terms of cinematography, in terms of sound, in terms of a few things. We have improved, marginally over the years. But I think because storytelling, script writing is an art. It is not just anybody cannot just wake up and start writing stories and writing scripts for screenplays for film. Back in the day, when we would write, because like I said, we had a lot of people who were trained, but when we write, we used to bandy our stories around. So I would write a story and send it to a fellow producer, a fellow writer.
Bounce it off people.
Yeah, we'll bounce it off, and they'll say, no, you need to change this, you need to do this and all that.
There used to be script conferences.
There's script conferences that we used to hold and all that. So the story would have gone through a process, and when it comes out, you will see. And then back in the day, we also wanted to see what would do, the linear thing was that how do we keep the audience from second guessing what we are going to do next. So there was that shock value that we had in our stories,
Totally
and of course a whole lot of stuff.
Totally agree with you.
Yeah, but right now, I think we are aping too much of the foreign films. We're aping too many rom-coms that are situated or set in environments or put in settings that are not realistic.
Charles, funny, I like to call it the Mills and Boone effect.
The Mills and Boone, yes. We did that during our own time, but at least we situated it. But right now, you watch a little bit of Nollywood films and you're wondering, okay, where does this happen in which universe? So I was asking a scriptwriter the other day and he says, oh, we created our own universe. I said, which stupid universe did you create? Which universe? People just carry the Hollywood thing or another. No, you want to create your universe.
Copy and paste.
Yes, no, we need to situate. We need to really improve on that. Yeah.
Okay.
And to add to that, we have the stories. It's not as if we don't have the stories. So, even Hollywood is even looking in our direction for stories because this is of AI and digital, whatever you have, artificial intelligence and all that. But we still have the authentic stories that you can come to Africa and get, particularly Nigeria here. So I see no reason why we should copy and paste. I think we should keep that originality, and that's what made that journalist, I think, what year was that called us, that said, stand by Hollywood and here comes Nollywood.
Yeah.
I think that was what he saw. And I would not like to see that eroded because the amount of copied and pasting and doing rom-coms that are not realistic, that are not home-based, I don't fancy it. So I'd like us to go back a little bit and keep that authentic thing about us. That's what Nollywood's very authentic, and I think we should stick to that.
Okay, now, Segun, Arinze, I want to ask you about Nollywood in terms of how we work together, because you just said something very key, Charles. You talked about, script conferences where ideas are being bounced off each other. We are in a space in Nollywood where there's so many different factions, and I'll explain it to you. We have one faction producing a certain type of movies, the cinematic blockbusters, usually the same type of storylines, parties, exciting, va-va-voom, beautiful lighting and all of that. People love to see it. It's exciting, it's fun, but does it last the test of time? No. Then we have the ones that are producing movies that are being churned out on platforms like YouTube. They might not make it to the theaters, but these movies are feel-good movies. They stay there on the platform. People watch it and enjoy it. In all of these different spaces, we have investors coming in to invest money. We have unions like the Actors Guild of Nigeria, somewhere in between all of that. And then we have international festivals like the Cannes Film Festival, Toronto, and the likes, that movies in these various spaces are going out to. So when we talk about producing movies that are authentic, where are we starting from if we're all doing our own things separately? Like, who is checking who for these stories that are being told?
Well, you see, things like that should be expected because even in Hollywood, you have people who will do films at the low carder and you have people who do the high. It all depends on the kind of budget that you have to shoot. So there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, I just want you, when you're telling the story, whether you have the budget, big budget, or you don't have the big budget, the value that you create is the most important thing, that the production values and all that, and telling the right stories. That's for me. I do not want to start castigating and saying these people are this or these people are that. The movie industry is very diverse. Just the way you have it in banking, you have the top big banks and you now have the ones that are doing all the low things, that are giving loans and all that. So you have all that. That's to be expected. In every business, you have the low, the high, the middle. So there's nothing wrong with that. But I do not want to say that there is anything like, what was that word you used a while ago? That some kind of variations in the industry. Well, you could have variations, but I'll let you know that there are guilds. Yes, you have the Actors Guild, you have the Directors Guild, you have Screenwriters Guild, you have producers, you even have the cinematographers. There's something wrong. They all make up. They're all part of the nucleus that make up the big bud that's called Nollywood. So there's unification. If you want to ask a question, I think we are united, but where we probably think that we're not united in terms of funding. There are big fishes, there are small fishes. So I don't want to go in that direction, saying there is the diversity or what was that word we used a while ago? The
divisions.
The divisions. I don't want to use the word divisions. I don't think there is. Even if there might seemingly be, I refuse to say it. I just want to see one straight industry that's called Nollywood, and we're working. Charles, I don't know what you have to say about that.
Well, I think those things are to be expected, but I also think because we are not, we have the language industries. So apart from Nollywood, Nollywood is like the umbrella, as it were. There's known, is the brand that is known all over the world as the Nigerian film industry. Then you have the Kannywood, the Eurowood, and all that, but it's all still, there are distinct, categories under Nollywood. But I do not, it's just like Nigeria. We have a whole lot of ethnic tribes and all that, ethnicities and all that, doing their own thing. So sometimes the voices may seem very discordant. It may seem like there's, you are fighting for different things. Meanwhile, we're all trying to achieve the same goal. Exactly. And that is why through the years, we've been asking for some kind of a linear body, one body that, all these, everybody can come on there and work. And I think that is in the works too as well. But in terms of fostering unity within, because I think the biggest PRO, and I always say that the biggest PRO for the Nigerian state, the country as Nigeria too as well, is Nollywood, the entertainment industry, Nollywood, Afrobeat, music, our fashion, those things travel, before us. And so we actually have done a lot in terms of pushing the Nigerian narrative out there. And so that itself is a plus. So here, we try as much as possible to also be united. So whatever it is you see on social media, and those are, of course, we feed the news hounds a lot too as well with our lifestyles, and also, so you got to see if there's no negative story, some of those tabloids will not sell, or those nobody's going to go on those sites.
Feeding news hounds are things that are expected in the industry. Even in Hollywood, you have Hollywood gossip. So it's a usual run of the mill.
Right.
Okay, well, I would like to believe that, and I would like to see that more, because from my side, every time, for instance, I think the biggest scandal that we had in Nollywood this year, and there's been others, would have been during our Oscar selection, and the fact that we couldn't just agree, not because the movies did not deserve to go, but the reasons where it was not even about the movies, to be very honest. It was about the raucous within the team that was made very public, and then everyone having different thoughts and not really showing as much support for this union that should be so united. But we're almost out of time. I wanted us to touch on the Badagry Film Festival real quick, because we know that film festivals are one of the ways that people get to see our Nollywood. And when I think Badagry, I'm thinking, okay, what is this going to bring to the table that is different from everyone else?
Well, first, because the Badagry was the first point of entrance by the Portuguese and the Britons when they, I use the word British, when they came into Nigeria. That was the first place they landed. And it's a historical city. It's a city that has a lot. And so we wanted to just showcase that this is where it all started, from where Christianity started, from where everything you think about missionary and all that started from. I would like to open up and invite people to come to Badagry and see. It's a very, very big city, very historical, very authentic, and we want just to tell our story. So it's a Badagry narrative that we want you to come and see. That's why we say film meets nature. So you just come there, and there'll be master classes like never before seen. There'll be discussions and breakout sessions and all that. But most importantly, it's selling Badagry to the world, telling them this is what we have. Badagry used to be a big fun place in those days, in the 80s and 90s, when they would be having music festivals, and all of a sudden it looked like there was a drawback. And so we're trying to push back. So what we're trying to open up Badagry and let people come in and experience nature and tourism.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so just to round that up,
Charles, please.
Yeah, so as a filmmaker, you need to attend film festivals. I've attended a lot, and I will attend the Badagry Film Festival that Segun is organizing. I mean, if you invite me to anyone, Backyard Film Festival, BBL Film Festival, I will attend. But I mean, it's all part of enhancing the art and getting to meet people, networking, and meeting watching new ideas from new filmmakers.
By the way, I'm the festival director. We also have Vignon Avance as the CEO, and we're also working in partnership with the Lagos State Ministry of Tourism, and also having a buy-in from the Lagos State government. So we look forward to having a great festival come this October.
Absolutely. Are people welcome to submit their films? I know that's a big part of festivals. Are people welcome to submit movies, or?
Oh yes, people have been submitting films on the film freeway. People have been submitting. There's a jury and all that. People have been submitting.
So there's like prizes to be won as well, because that's also very exciting.
I won't let that. I won't let the cat out of the bag. But in the coming days, you'll be getting more information. In the coming days, you're getting more information about the Badagry International Film Festival.
The Badagry International Film Festival. Segun, Arinze, Charles, Novia. This has been such a fun conversation. Thank you both so much for joining me on Arise 360 today, and good luck with the festival. We'll be looking out for it.